Hello, my name's Steve and you're listening to the Go Footballing Podcast. This is the show that talks about grassroots football, whether you are a football coach, a player, a parent, referee, or if you just got a love for the game, just sit tight, you are in the right place. As always, a big thank you to all the returning listeners and everyone that's been interacting with the show so far. And if you're a new listener, you're very welcome. To get involved, though, you can always email in. It's just gofootballpod@gmail.com. Comes directly to me, and then I'll read out whatever's on there. So on the lineup today, just one topic, just one subject, just one thing for us to do and talk about this week, and that is the goalkeeper. So let's get into it. So the goalkeeper. Every team's got one, haven't they? Every team needs one. Some teams struggle for them. Some teams have really good ones. Some teams have goalkeepers that just kind of fall in there by accident and then really enjoy it. Other teams, you'll probably find that they keep switching with a different player from bib to bib just to get through a game. However, this one is a little bit about an appreciation for goalkeepers. I think we really need to appreciate that position. I think it's probably one of the positions on the pitch which is probably ignored the most for a number of different reasons. So I did a little bit of, research. I put it out to a couple of polls, and a big thanks for everyone that came in and sort of interacted, gave me their stories, gave me their highs, their lows, the things they like about it, the things that they don't like about it. And I just compiled a bit of a list to ramble on for about the next 15 minutes. So here we go. But before I do read any of those comments out, I am a goalkeeper coach. So, there's a couple of things that I always find when having a goalkeeper, especially for the first time and on the first session, is that they haven't been taught the basics by the coaches. And this is not a diss to any coaches, because it's really difficult. If you've got, 15, 16 players and one goalkeeper, it's really difficult to sort of like isolate them away, especially if there's, just maybe one or two coaches for a team like that. It's really, really difficult. But I do find that, in the age groups that I have one-to-one sessions with, or when I have goalkeeper sessions, I generally find that a lot of goalkeepers are not getting all of the core skills that they maybe could get from a coach or from a training session. I'd had a lad who had been in his under-15s, and when I was talking about, look, let's get set. This is going to be a set position. This is how I want you to start, down the line and up the line, and just looked at me kind of blank. And, obviously this is his first session with me. And he just was like, I don't know what that means. And I was like, okay. So, went through and explained it. End of the session, it was very much a case of went away and he was like, I didn't realise that there was all of that to do with my position. And I think that is probably across the board, really. I think that, for all the goalkeepers that are going to listen to this, please interact. Please put some comments below. Please put your thoughts there, because it will really help all the outfield players that have never been in goal, all the coaches that have never been in goal, or the parents that watch people in goal all the time. It'll let them understand what it is that you're thinking, what you do, how you react, why you do things in a certain way. And it'll be really good for them to see all of that. I suppose there is no right or wrong way of actually coaching a goalkeeper. There's certain things that you're always looking for to do with them. Obviously they're looking to protect the goal. But then, also look at in your sessions. And this is a key thing that kind of came back through all of the comments from everyone that had put, and I've got some notes wrote out for me, is that they don't feel like they were used in an actual training session, had to go and get their own one-to-one sessions, or the club needed to, and the grassroots teams probably needed to put one-to-one sessions on for goalkeepers. And that a lot of the time in sessions, they were used to just for the outfield players to have shots taken at them and just be shot stoppers, which doesn't help a goalkeeper as much as you might think. Yeah, it's great that they're going to get loads of shots and they're going to get that repetition of shots coming into them, but they need to be able to know how to dive correctly, like dive in using the ball to cushion their blow, or, how to get into the K shape, especially looking down the lines and on the lines. And, there's a lot of other practices that I think that coaches can maybe use for goalkeepers. I've got another example too. I when I've coached goalkeepers before, and someone's gone away and said, "Oh, look, I'd like you to go away and I'd like you to do some work on, receiving the ball in high positions." That's great, it's no problem. Can I have 5 other players though? Why do you need 5 other players? Can we just knock some balls up in the air? It's great. It's great. The goalkeeper that we've got, I know he'll catch pretty much 95% of the balls that are up in the air if he's not contested. However, put 5 players in there or 10 players in there like it will be on a Sunday. He's not going to catch 90% of them. He's going to have to deal with them differently, especially if he needs to practice. So sometimes let's think about some of the sessions of what do we want to get out of them. Now, you can get a lot out of sessions for goalkeepers, I think, by using outfield players with a different motive as to what they're looking for. And I'm not just talking about, just stop the goals and just be a shot stopper. They need to learn how to defend the goal, defend the space, and play out from the back. And goalkeepers' roles have changed massively. I follow quite a few goalkeepers on a lot of different social media platforms. So, if you're listening now as well, you see my little likes pop up or my little comments and, safe hands and all the other comments that I put on, that they are genuine comments that I'm putting on there too. I genuinely think that if I'm commenting and saying that it's a good save, genuinely think it's a good save. If I see that you've put 3 or 4 on, genuinely I always comment back on which one I think is the best if that's what you're looking for too. So, it's really, really tricky position. But, you're looking at defending the goal, defending the space and defending the area of where to be. And that's really, really tricky for a lot of goalkeepers if the rest of the team don't know what they're doing or the positions that they should be in. I think a lot of focus is always going to go into where the more players are, which is the outfield players, and always less focus going to be on the actual goalkeeper. But some really good goalkeeper practices that you can do will really, really benefit the strikers because things like 1v1s with goalkeepers. It's really essential that they train doing those because there's going to be times in a game where that is a realistic game situation that they are going to be 1v1s. There's going to be realistic situations of playing out from the back now. Now, I think with goalkeepers, they have massively changed. And I think that what that's done, it's also, we've got a different breed of goalkeeper now to what we maybe had years and years ago. I think for the goalkeeper, it always used to be, how big are you? And how far can you kick it? They were the main 2 things. No one ever played out from the back, and it was always about how big are you, how far can you kick it? Obviously there was a bit more to it than that, but they were the generals. You look at some of the goalkeepers going back years and years. That was pretty much the fit for it. And it was either that one or it was the keeper doesn't want to play anywhere on the pitch. Doesn't want to be able to run about. Probably the least fit on the team as well. But in the grassroots, we're probably going to get put in goal. Now though, completely different. There's a couple of goalkeepers that have completely changed this. For a goalkeeper now, they're like an outfield player, and we need to treat them like outfield players because they're very technically good. If you look at the top level goalkeepers now, technically good with their feet, almost playing like a sweeper. It allows teams to be able to play out from the back. It allows them more confidence now that rather than it's just, kick it back to the goalkeeper, it's going to go long, they're able to put the foot on the ball. The amount of times I've seen grassroots teams now where goalkeepers been able to turn a striker like effortlessly and then play the ball out or distribute it into a good position. You can kind of tell that they're getting trained in a different way and that they're learning the skills of being a goalkeeper and also being used as almost like a sweeper in a lot of cases. You see where the players are well outside of their area now when they're in possession and they're in the final third of being in possession. So it's very different to what it used to be. And the skills that they've had to learn are a lot more too. They've had to learn a lot of different skills because players have adapted and also I think that now there's more players that have got probably more technical skills that are taking shots against them. There's more patterns of play. It's no longer, we're not playing 4-4-2 in every single game. So it's not always, 1-for-1 with centre-backs and forwards. It's a very, very different game for them. And I don't think they get much appreciation. But goalkeepers, this is one thing that I will say. To be a goalkeeper, there's no offence made here, by the way. But, please comment if you kind of agree or disagree with this one. But goalkeepers are a little bit crazy. They are a little bit nuts. They are a little bit psycho sometimes. Who wants to be in a goal and who wants to have the ball kicked at them as many times as what they do get it kicked at them? And to be able to stand there. So, absolutely salute every goalkeeper. And like I said, this episode is all about goalkeepers and it's all about the things that you've done and just a bit of appreciation for that position. Comes on to the next point, really, is like, what can we do grassroots-wise to give these young goalkeepers and, maybe some older goalkeepers that play in grassroots football, what can we do to either support them a little bit more or what can we do to sort of like help them out? What can we do to make it a better position for them and make them feel maybe more part of the team. Now, they probably already feel part of the team. That's why they're turning up, but is there anything more that we should be doing in our sessions to help support goalkeepers and not let them feel the way that they sometimes feel, because being a goalkeeper is really hard, if you're scoring goals, then you're always looked at as the hero, and if you're a goalkeeper and a striker goes in and scores, especially when you move up, you're moving up through the age groups and all of a sudden you're the goal size has changed, but you've potentially not changed in size too much. And all of a sudden you've got a massive pitch and a massive goal. You might have gone from, 9-a-side where it's, right up to the full size goals where they're sort of like all of a sudden 24 foot wide. And all of a sudden, you're going to let more goals in, and it's never nice for a goalkeeper to be letting goals in. And then a lot of goalkeepers often they're the ones that get the whole, oh, they're a villain, they should have come out, they should have saved that, they should have done this, why didn't they do this, why didn't they do that? But they don't think that goalkeepers get the same kind of praise that maybe a striker does, for every save and everything that's hit the target that goalkeeper saved. That's the result. That's the same as a striker really hitting the target, and to be honest, sometimes strikers, I've seen games in Grassroots where the whole team haven't put a shot on goal before, and the goalkeeper's been really, really busy, and it's been 0-0, and the outfield team have probably not taken a shot on the opposition's goal, and then last 5 minutes or so, ball goes through, goalkeeper misses it, or it's a 1v1, or it's a wonder goal that goes in, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I can't believe we lost that one. Well, it's the goalkeeper might have made like 20 saves during the game. You wouldn't get it from the other way. So, big good, for you goalkeepers as well, loads of resilience there, and much love to all of you, really. I think sometimes people can just fall into being a goalkeeper. I sent a couple of messages out to quite a few goalkeepers, and thanks for everyone again for responding back to us. I had one that came back that said, was undiagnosed with ADHD traits at the time. And would really hyper, would go for the wrong goal, would rugby tackle people during the game. So decided to go into goal, completely calm them down, and completely was the right position in goal for them, and absolutely thriving in that now as well. So, good story there. I've had some others that have also come in from Kean Goalkeeper and Davey as well. A story about how getting into being a goalkeeper was good. They started putting some tweets out to Martinez, and Martinez kept replying to them. Became their favourite player. Plays in goal. By the way, I have seen a lot of their TikToks too, and some great saves there. By the way, and if you're wondering what goalkeepers don't like, this is one thing that goalkeepers don't like, and I think that everyone, this will be anyone that's watching, anyone that's coaching, anyone that's playing that's not in goal, is that goalkeepers hate it when they are blamed for goals, that there is nothing that they could do to stop them. And, if you want to keep your goalkeepers in goal, you want to keep them happy, don't blame them for stuff. It's a team game. Let's go and score more goals than the other team, and then we'll end up winning. Let's not put so much onto a goal that goes in, especially if there's nothing that could be done about it. And let's give them a bit more praise for every time that they do make a save. I think that was one of the other messages that was coming back to, was that there wasn't enough praise for making top corner saves, big match decisions, not enough praise for goalkeepers. So, this weekend, if you could do me something, go out, praise your goalkeeper for everything that they do, whether or not it's collecting the ball, whether or not it's a great clearance, a good diving save, anything, go and make sure you give them loads of appreciation for it. And also, just remember, they're not expected to save everything. They're not expected to save every single shot from every single angle all of the time. If you think back to when you're training and, if you're an outfield player or you've got coaches and they're taking shots and they're hitting the target, you probably get more upset in a session, or I've seen coaches definitely do this as well, and I don't know why. They get more upset when people are taking shots at the goalkeeper and missing. Even if the goalkeeper's saving them all, it's like, just praise your goalkeeper. He's making loads of saves. You probably need to do some more work on your outfield players, but use your goalkeeper for that too, because the better that your strikers are, the better that your midfielders are taking shots at your goalkeeper, better your goalkeeper's going to get too. But use them in a constructive way and in constructive practice, whether that be a small-sided game, whether that be a drill or something else as a practice for the whole team. Always got to look back though as well why some people fall in love with this position, because like I did say earlier, and like I said, it wasn't trying to be offensive to anyone as well, but some goalkeepers a little bit mad. Goalkeeper Dougie, he also messaged back as well saying, he fell in love with it from Pickford at the Euros. Yeah, with Pickford, he is like probably one of the angriest men in the world when he's playing football, isn't he? Or he certainly looks it sometimes. But also I quite like it. I think he's a great goalkeeper and great for us. But fell in love with him at the Euros. Other things that Dougie also does loves a good penalty. One thing, well, it's not just from him, by the way. So hopefully it's I'm not singling anyone out on this one, but coaches don't actually give any goalkeeper coaching, which I've sort of mentioned earlier. And they don't know how to get the best out of the keeper. They just having balls pelted at you for a warm up, and you probably see that on a Grassroots game at the weekend. You probably just see that the coach lined up on the edge of the box. You'll probably end up seeing all the players around the centre circle, and they'll play the ball into the coach. The coach will have more touches than anyone else. The goalkeeper just gets pelted with shots. Probably not the best practice for anyone, really. Those ones. But yeah, I think that's what they do, and I think that a lot of goalkeepers get exactly the same. Just the ball is just pelted at them constantly. So yeah, coaches, if you can, let's try and think about this, and let's try and think about it constructively. How do we change this? Probably some small-sided games that suit goalkeepers and have a goalkeeper element to them. They're always going to be good and a bit more interactive for the goalkeeper. If we're doing practices and we're doing drills, let's include outfield players too, so that if it's, for example, we are going to be taking things like they need to practice free kicks. They'll need to practice it in a realistic environment. So, make sure that we've got things like a wall up if we've got players. Make sure that they can interact correctly, those kind of things. Make sure that we've got a good understanding between your defenders and also your goalkeeper. So your goalkeeper's not run out, because the amount of times that I see the ball get played through and every player just turn and look and they just go, let's just hope the goalkeeper saves it rather than running back to try and help. With one-on-ones. This is something that I do see, though, from the other side. So many of you know, though, that I also referee, right up to open ages and all child ages in between. I don't think there's enough protection for goalkeepers. Like, the amount of times I see 1v1s or the ball rolling in and the keeper's clearly going to pick it up and the striker clearly goes in, timing-wise, and has to knock over the goalkeeper or make, contact with the goalkeeper unintentionally is crazy. And there's a lot of rules that are also in place for goalkeepers. For example, a lot of the time people think that a goalkeeper needs to have two hands on the ball to be in control of it. It's just not a rule. It's not been a rule for a long time. One hand on the ball against a surface, which could be the floor, a goalpost, body, anything like that. And the ball's also classed as being in control if it's on their body. So even if it's an open palm, they can't have the ball interfered with them as they're releasing the ball for kicking it out. They're not allowed to have those ones too. I think that the reason why I think a lot of people always seem to miss the goalkeeper is I think there's only ever been one Ballon d'Or position that's ever gone to a goalkeeper. Which is crazy, really. You'd have thought that would have been a lot more, especially with how good some goalkeepers are now. Here's a little bit of trivia, though, for you, especially for the 25-26 season. We already have the time-wasting rules already in place for goalkeepers keeping hold of the ball. However, next season, so 25-26 season, if a goalkeeper's holding the ball for more than 8 seconds, it's changed the rules now. So it used to be indirect free kick. That's what used to happen. And it was from wherever the goalkeeper was stood. So if they were in their 6-yard box, that indirect free kick is going to be on the 6-yard box. If it was somewhere else in the box, it's going to be somewhere else in the box. Because obviously, they're not going to be holding it outside of there because it'll be a handball. But the rule is going to be that if for 8 seconds, if a goalkeeper is holding on to the ball, the opposition team are going to be awarded a corner. So yeah, that's going to be replacing the rules that we've already got. And that's going to be it's a bit of an interesting one, really. We'll see how that one really goes. Hopefully, a lot of officials are going to, have some common sense with this, and they're going to sort of show time or keeper you need to play. Otherwise, we could be giving corners away all the time. And we'll see how that gets used in the big leagues too. On TV that we're all watching. We'll see if the first time that happens, and we'll see which team is the first one. We probably could get a bet on that one, couldn't we? Bound to be from a cup game, isn't it, or something like that? 1-0, 90th minute, holding it on for 7.8 seconds every time. I suppose we'll just have to see how that transpires into and fits into the Grassroots game. But Yeah, it's a rule that's coming in next season. I suppose that's for everyone, really, isn't it? Not just goalkeepers, but goalkeepers especially. Just be aware of that as a new rule. I mean, let's be honest, most grassroots referees probably aren't going to have read IFAB, so they're probably not going to enforce it anyway. But it's there just in case you need to see it, or if you're watching TV and you're not wanting to see what the new rules are. The rules come out every year. They always make some changes to things. Handball was one last year as well, about how you can give handball or what you can give it for. But yeah, this season it looks like that is one of the main takeouts. So last little readout then before we end the show, and this one was to JP Goalkeeper. Thanks very much for messaging in too. He was asked to go in goal under sevens when the current one quit. He likes making unworldly saves, and he likes making the crowd go "ooh" when he's made a save, which is good. Hates how mistakes can be costly compared to outfield players, which he knows absolutely true. I think that if you were to accidentally make something or a bad pass and someone shoots and scores from it, instantly it's a lot more, obviously there's a lot more pressure and it's a lot more costly than maybe a player losing it in the opposition's half and, players being able to recover back and help out and, it's not always as costly there. So, well done. Also, love all the videos that you do make as well. Always got a time to watch a JP video. So that's us for the show about goalkeepers and about a bit of appreciation for goalkeepers. Well done to all the goalkeepers. Keep your safe hands. Have a good game at the weekend. That's great. If you want to interact, like I said at the beginning of the show, it's no problem. Just email in. It's gofootballpod@gmail.com. So next show, it's going to be episode 10. Wow, we're hitting double figures. Amazing. Didn't think I would do it. A lot of people didn't think I'd do it too. So, but hopefully we'll get an episode 10 out. That will be all about the dark arts of grassroots football. So if you are listening, you've gone to 22 minutes. Thank you very much. But if you could just email in your dark arts of grassroots football. So what do you do to waste time? What do you stay on the pitch? What do you do to get the upper on the other team? What do you do in all the situations that you can do to help you win a game, but doing it fairly? But it's just, you're within the rules, but it's just annoying, okay, to the other team. Listen, email that in to me though as well. That's gofootballpod@gmail.com, and I'll speak to you and you'll hear from me next week.